Morning, guys. I'm out here in the tomato garden and I just wanted to show you. These are the ox heart or Hungarian heart tomatoes that I grew from seed. So right now I have a bunch of little babies growing, so I'm excited because I was worried this plant was taking a long time to actually produce tomatoes. So I thought I would just give you a quick little tomato update and show you what's happening out here. I love the way the tomato garden looks in the morning sun, and it's growing along happily. This whole section, 8 tomato plants are of that Hungarian heart, and I had mentioned before that they were going to be probably a pound a piece. So I'm really just holding my breath for them. These are the Parks Whoppers. I have 4 of these plants. They never let me down. You guys, if you're going to grow tomatoes, get a Parks Whopper. They are delicious, half-pound fruits approximately. They're about 60 to 75 days to harvest after you put them in the ground. They're prolific growers. They're fairly disease resistant as long as they have good amounts of calcium to prevent blossom bottom rot. And they're a big favorite in our household. You can do anything from sandwiches to sauce with them. Then I planted some extra Amish paste tomatoes, and last year they were big producers for us, and I'm not really seeing any yet in this row, and I'm not really sure why. So there's flowers, there's just not really any babies. But over here the Amish paste is doing well. So again, this is Amish paste and Roma. You can see the little baby Roma tomatoes. There's another cluster of them there. Now these are the ones where I anticipate that they are going to actually be a bruisey pear. So I don't know what's going to happen. We just wait and see. And we accept it gratefully. This is the Amish paste. This is also a very large fruit. When it goes to full maturity, we were blown away last year. It was our first year. Pepper production. I get a little distracted. I came out to show you. I actually came out as usual to harvest lettuce, but instead I thought, let me show everyone the tomato progress. Look at all these yellow flowers in this beautiful morning light. Tomato flowers are just gorgeous little flowers. There we go. Show you in the light. And guess what, guys? Great news. Our bees showed up yesterday, so now we have bees working. Without the bees, we have no production. I mean, the hoverflies and the ants and the wasps, they are working for us, but not like the bees do. So this is the Borghese variety of tomato. This is a grape tomato that is known to be used for making sun-dried tomatoes. And you can do that in the oven on a very low heat, but it takes a very long time to dry them out. Instead, I just roast them in the oven until their skin bubbles, and then I let it rest. When I take it out, the skin pops right off, and I just add that to my other tomatoes when I actually make sauce, or I say tomato gravy. So it's just it's a delicious sweet tomato. It makes a wonderful paste. This is a Martino's Roma tomato. Again, it's a very sweet, dense, meaty, small tomato used to thicken the gravy, the tomato gravy for sauce. So these guys I did extra of this year because there was a specific Roma tomato I couldn't get from the farm stand, and I can't find seeds for it. So I'm trying to improvise, and since I had the Martino's, I had the Amish paste, which is great for making sauce with. I thought, let me see what I can do here. I'll add it in with some of the Hungarian hearts and get a nice thick sauce. And last year I was able to make enough tomato gravy and freeze it that I had enough for the entire year. every week I was able to take out a big container. And John likes his pasta made very, very saucy and soupy like. So he likes, you know, dipping his bread. Who doesn't? It's like one of life's little pleasures, having a big bowl of pasta with a lot of sauce. These two are the San Marzano Roma tomatoes, also known as a Abruzzi pear. There are some flowers and some fruit starting. This is a very bushy, determinate tomato. You may also hear it called a bush tomato, whereas the Amish paste and the there's a fine line as I try to teach you here with some of this stuff. This is technically, a Roma tomato is a bush plant, so let me correct myself and just make it clear. They are bush plants, but this is a big bushy plant. So, which again is like why we were confused about whether or not we got the right seeds in this packet. It's definitely a Roma tomato that grows, but it gets very, very big and bushy. So you have a bush tomato, which is also known as determinate, and then you have a pole tomato, which is indeterminate. When it's determinate, it's known to grow just a certain size and then it stops. Whereas the indeterminate pole tomato will vine and just keep on growing. So, like the Hungarian heart is a pole tomato. The Park Swapper grows for us like a pole tomato. So they just go up and you have to put that on that truss system, on the grids, and you have to tighten it up and let it grow wide and it just takes over. Whereas, you know, plants like this, which again is more of the Martino's Roma, it is a bush plant. It's very compact. It stays real tight and kind of gets just round and mounded. So you got to make sure it has good air circulation and have some little tiny fruits starting on here. This puts out what it's going to put out one time and that's it. But the other guys, they'll just keep producing until frost comes. So we're moving along though. I'm happy to see there's actually tomatoes forming. These Romas are critical to the gravy. They're wonderful, delicious flavor. So they're doing well. The Park Swappers are doing well. So this is the heart of our garden here, guys. So I hope that you will stay tuned to see how our tomatoes are growing and how we actually achieve such success with them. So this beautiful white flower that you see is a beautiful pollinator. It attracts hoverflies and bees. This is buckwheat, and we can actually use this, and I may do it this year, where I actually harvest the seed, dry it, and use it for salad, and see if I can make flour from it, because of the flour shortage that's happening with the war overseas. Is affecting everyone, and you know, we take for granted that we're going to go to the supermarket and there's going to be pasta for $1 a box. Not anymore, guys. Everything is about to change. It's going to be years of change because of the war and how it's affecting wheat, and wheat affects pasta, wheat affects the bread. Of course, everybody knows that, but we don't always take the time to think about it. So while I harvested a bunch of seed last year to use to actually grow the buckwheat flour, I didn't make it into flour, F-L-O-U-R, for bread. I like to let it go to flowers so that it attracts the pollinators, which pollinate our tomatoes. Now, this buckwheat is so critical for the garden, we learned, because it repels detrimental insects like leaf-footed miners or leaf-footed nymphs, which will just destroy your tomato harvest. It also pulls nutrients up from the bottom of the earth into the surface of the earth to feed the tomatoes. It pulls up nitrogen and phosphorus, which are two components that the tomato needs to grow healthy and full. So these are the Hungarians I'm looking at here, and they seem to want to be tomato plants. So there's another couple growing in there that you can see. I'm hoping that this is going to be successful, because I want to get to a point where I'm not buying any tomatoes through the year, and I wish I could figure out a way to freeze tomatoes so that I can use them for salad, but that's a very difficult thing. I could try to pickle them and jar them, but I don't think that we would like that very much. So for now, we just, we grow the fresh tomatoes through the season, and then for salad time, I actually have to buy tomatoes through the winter. And we know someone who says store-bought tomatoes taste like disappointment, and she would be so right, because they really do. Once you've had fresh homegrown tomatoes in your own garden, there's just no other experience like it. So anyway, guys, this is a quick update on our tomato patch, growing happily. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet and you just stayed with me for 10 minutes, I hope that you found this to be of use to you, and that you enjoy the content, and that you're not just learning from it, but you're wanting to care about our garden and just be interested in this garden as a destination and a place where we thrive as people. So please subscribe to our channel. Please like the video if it helped you out any, and please come back for more information. One of the next videos that may be posted before this one or after this one will be talking about growing corn. So have a great day, guys. Stay tuned for the next vlog. As always, thank you for giving me your time and spending it with me here in our backyard garden. Take care.